Hello, my Facebook world and our Facebook friends, friends of Stephanie, friends of mine, and friends of friends who is going to be sharing this. So glad you could join Stephanie and I. Stephanie, first of all, welcome to my Lion's Den. This is a place where I love to hang out with friends. You guys, I am so excited. I've been so waiting for a few months now for this update video. Many of you have seen an interview that I was blessed to be able to do with Stephanie a year and 7 months ago now. And she told a story that was so riveting and so compelling that we just had to share it with our worlds, your worlds, and now many of you have shared it with yours. So Stephanie, what I do know is that you're a holistic nutritionist that has been that for the last that you have been for 6 years now. But you had a beginning, and I'm just going to give you the floor because I want you to share your beautiful story. What happened? And I just found out something, you guys, about this beautiful woman that I didn't know, what she did before she became a holistic nutritionalist. And then let's go back, reshare for those that might not have heard about your son and what took place at the beginning. And we're going to walk right up to where it's been now this year and 7 months later. So Stephanie, welcome. Share your heart. I can't wait to hear it. I'm so excited.
All right. Thank you so much, Becky. I love being in the Lion's Den. Thank you. So before I became a holistic nutritionist, I was actually a pharmaceutical rep for 15 years, specifically in the field of gastroenterology. And I'll tell you, when that career ended, and it ended because of corporate America, right? So it was a downsizing. And so my career ended. And just several months later, we were given the gift of our third child. And we chose to do adoption. So he came from the foster care system. And, you know, you just look back at life and go, wow, God, you are so good in all things that you do, because he was priming me. He was making me ready. And so our little guy came home. He was 6 months old. And I'll tell you, he cried day and night. And it was a shriek and a scream like there's no words. You just have to hear it to experience it. Sometimes I hear it even now today, 8 years later, and I can feel it inside of me. Like I want to help. I want to help that baby that's doing that scream. But we had some hard times. We had really, really hard times. So I was staying home, and during that time, I decided to go back to school for some additional education in holistic nutrition. My degree's in nutrition and exercise physiology, but I decided to go back to school for some additional education. So I did that while staying home. And when he was able to go to school, I was able to get back into the workforce, and I did that through doing nutrition work at some doctor's offices. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6 years, which has been super fun and exciting. So what happened when our little guy came home was a lot of work. We had a lot of work, and we did a lot of different therapies to try to calm down what was going on. But we really didn't know what was happening. He came home to us with not a lot of information from the foster care system. There was a lot of unknowns, and it was our first time doing this. But what I can tell you about me is I'm a digger. I want to know why. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And so that's what I did with him, is I just took him to a lot of different places and said, why can't he stop crying? Why can't he stop shaking? Why? And help me. Why and help me. So how Becky and I got to know each other and meet each other was because my why was answered. So my little guy was finally diagnosed fetal alcohol syndrome, ADHD. There's a lot of diagnoses that come, but the fact is it's in utero exposure and trauma. So that leaves dysregulated body, a complex brain, really, that we have to try to meet his needs. And the needs are always unfolding. What is the next thing that he needs? Okay, I think we've got that one taken care of, but then another one pops up. And so really it's been quite a journey to just give him everything that he needs and teach him, right? And there's a lot of developmental disabilities that have come up, and delays, I should say, delays. And it really is just making his, well, I can best describe it as what the goal was, is to get his body and his brain to connect. Mm. And once that could connect, then it would help us understand his emotions, help him understand his emotions, help him to verbalize what he's going through. And so that's really where Becky and I came together then a year and a half ago, was finding a natural products that helped that happen like nothing we had ever experienced. And I was a mom that was searching for this.
So who found you, and I always say this because somebody loved me enough to share this life with me, these products that have changed my life. Who was it that shared with you, and what took place? And then go through that first little journey, and then let's keep going on through what's happened in the last 19 months since you've been introduced.
Yes. Well, my story is unique in the fact that I was actually working in a functional medicine chiropractor office, and working with patients with autoimmune and high inflammation, and was currently using these products for those patients. When I really realized what they do, it connected for me. Why would this not work for my child? And we had, there was a fellow doctor, Dr. Brimhall, actually called me and said, tell me about your son. I heard a little bit about your son, and tell me about him. And so I told him the story, and he said, I need you to listen to this information. And so I did. And there was a lot of things going on in my mind, like the what ifs. Wow, what if this does work? And then a day later, the amazing Carrie Williams called me and said, I heard about your story, and I want to tell you mine. And I believe with everything inside of me that this will help your child. And I said, I have got nothing to lose at all. And what if? I have a whole lot that we can gain. So let's do this. So I started him on Nrf1, Nrf2. We were already doing natural homeopathic. I had gone to actually 3 different naturopathic doctors. So we were already doing some homeopathy. He was on high fish oils. He was on probiotics, but we made a complete switch over and did what was called the Vitality Stack. And we also, I started having him drink a drink that activates the brain. And if you guys remember back to the last video, within 5 days, what I saw was a better connected child. He held my hand. He told me that he loved me. Doesn't happen. Does now. Didn't happen. And he stopped running into walls and falling on the floor. When the occupational therapist would say his brain is asking, it's sensory. His brain is asking. He doesn't do that anymore. And so that was a huge gift. And that happened within 5 days. That's not everybody's story, but it was my guy's story. And the next thing that happened was better sleep. And then we were able to take away an afternoon medication. About 4 months later, this is after I had even spoken to you, we took away a nighttime medication. Then we were able to take away a medication that he was taking for anxiety. So here we are a year and a half later, and he's off of 3 of his medications, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
So first of all, how old was your son when you started him on this protocol?
He was 7 years old.
7 years old. So again, we call for those of you listening, you guys, we call the protocol this Vitality Stack. So quickly, as fast as you can, bring us through the Vitality Stack, which is Nrf2, Nrf1, Omegas, which he was on, and our version of the probiotic, ProBio. That is called the Vitality Stack. So Stephanie, why would these products, what are they doing very briefly that is helping then a 7-year-old, now he's 9, 8, going to be almost 9. A child is taking an adult's, what you would think was an adult, but first of all, what was going on in his body that needed to be helped, and how did these help him?
Well, okay. So again, diagnosed with ADHD, his focus, his inattentiveness, impulsivity and aggressiveness. I saw that get better quickly. The aggressiveness, the ADHD, it's still present. It's still there. And the sleep, the regulation of that, amazing. Then what I saw was his ability to feel. Okay. So what does that mean? He was able to say he was sorry when something did happen. He never made those connections before. And this was not, you guys, this took a while to get there, but I really truly feel like the Nrf2 reduces oxidative stress by 40% is what the research says. So if because this kiddo in utero had a lot of oxidative stress that was given to him, right? His cells were damaged. And so what we're doing by giving him, activating his body, is reducing that stress inside of his body. So now his cells are able to be fully energized, right? And not have all that free radical damage. And they're able to continue to produce more healthy cells. So that's the Nrf1 and Nrf2 activation. We've also seen over time that his reading skills have increased. He's just making milestones, and he's hitting them. But it was, for a while, he was just stalled, and he was in this holding pattern, and you were able to get him to that next level. And what we're seeing is that he's able to get there. And I'm seeing this confidence in this kiddo. I'm seeing self-esteem. Like the other night, he sat and read us a book, and my husband and I are looking at each other like, did he just do that? And we're like high-fiving. Oh. And he's jumping up and down. He's feeling so good about who he is, right? Because it wasn't that way for him before. And he felt like the in trouble kid. And it's not all because of, I will have to say, the products have taken him so far. And there's also, a change of his environment and getting him in the right place and getting him in the right structure. All of that came together. And when that came together, he's able to be who he's created to be. And that's what we're seeing now.
Oh, Stephanie, I just literally had chills and tears well up in my eyes. Because this young, beautiful son of yours went from not being able to feel, to connect an emotion to an act, like an emotion of sorrow to saying, I'm sorry, the emotion of joy to jumping up and down and being excited and proud of himself.
Yeah, and to be able to communicate. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
I was going to say, even to be able to communicate to us, like, and I'm never here to say that it's 100%, because it's not. We're still a family. There's still struggles. There's this and that. But when he reacts, and if he reacts towards me in an unkind way, he's able to turn it around and come back and realize what he's done. So for a really long time, in the psychology world, there's a thing called disassociation, right? So you'll act a certain way, but you have no idea. You don't take responsibility for that action. You literally feel like you weren't there. I feel like that's gone for him. Like he's able to turn around and go, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, that wasn't nice what I just said to you. I'm like, yes, that's not. And I forgive you, and it's okay. And we're going to move forward, and we're going to move on.
Oh,
that's been a huge gift for us.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Stephanie. So you yourself decided to step into this because being a pharmaceutical rep, seeing what the world of pharma is, you got to see it from being a pharmaceutical rep. And that world itself is so different from the world you're in now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you had stayed in that world, where your son would be, if you would have believed in that world, where your son would be today?
Yeah. And I do believe that pharmaceuticals serve a purpose for a period of time, and it served a purpose for us too. But it wasn't. I knew that it wasn't where I wanted to stay, because I do fully believe that our bodies have the ability to repair and heal from the damage that's been done. And I just think it has to be given the right nutrients and the right nutrition, right? And with that, then the body is able to be what it's created to be. And that's what we saw with our kiddo, is that given the right nutrients, given the right and activating pathways in his body, he was able to get rid of some of the things that he needed to be rid of, and able to be who he's made to be.
So you who are watching this, you who somebody loved you enough to share this video and this amazing story with, imagine when a university, one of dozens and dozens of universities, takes this, and you hear a story like this that's real, a legitimate story, one of thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, but one of thousands, which is near and dear to my heart, why a university would say this quote about activating a miracle body, Nrf2 activation. This is a direct quote, you guys, from Washington State University. Nrf2 activation is perhaps the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, wouldn't you agree, who's watching this today, right now, that this is something that you would want to share with someone that you love, that you would want to get a body that God created to be a miracle body switched back on so that it could do what it was created to do? And wouldn't you agree, Stephanie, that this little miracle baby boy of yours was created by God, but he just did not have, because of what took place in the trauma in his little body, he is now being put in a position to absolutely live a life full, because his body is doing what it was created to do. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yes, I feel like we can see truly who he is, and that's really a gift, because I could absolutely see that before.
This is amazing. Stephanie, this update has just brought so much encouragement to my heart. And now you too are sharing this with your world. As a new holistic nutritionist, you've now taken this and have added this into your life as a part of sharing it with others, because you want to love people well. And this is actually a legitimate lifestyle, which I too, as a professional, real estate professional, have taken on to share it with my world. And I'll tell you what, it brings a whole lot of passion in my heart to hear stories like this, and it makes me want to get even louder about what we have. So you guys, if you know Stephanie and you haven't known this part about her life, you get back with her. If somebody loved you and shared this video with you, please get back with them and ask them for more information. And today, Stephanie, I'm going to close with this. I was given this absolutely amazing PubMed, which is the online medical journal that doctors go and do research from. And it was a PubMed article that said increased oxidative stress in children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So it's actually proven, documented, put in public journals that children that have ADHD have high levels of oxidative stress. And to think that we have something that is all natural that we can give to children and adults that can help remove that oxidative stress and reduce it greatly from our bodies.
Absolutely. I know. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Thank you guys so much. Do you have anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I do want to say this too. For anyone who is a parent of a child with ADHD, you know the anxiety that goes with that. So get that in your body as well. I have to say that's one thing Carrie Williams said to me was, and you need to take it too. And I said, no, I got this. I am good. I don't need it. And she said, how could you not? And thank you for saying that, because when I look back on it, I do remember saying to a friend, I can't breathe very well during the day. I feel like there's like an elephant on my chest. And I think I have anxiety. And I don't experience that any longer because I'm able to cope. I was able to cope with my daily everything that you had to go through with 3 boys and 1 kiddo with his special needs. And I felt like activating my body gave me the ability to breathe deeper and breathe better and handle life better. So yeah, that's the other part.
That just made me want to take a deep breath.
Take lots of them.
And be so grateful that I too am activated, and it actually has, as an adult, has changed my life as well. So you guys, go change your life. Go change somebody else's life. Share this with somebody you love. And Stephanie, I love you, my friend. Oh,
I love you. Thank you so much.
Blowing big kisses and big loves to you today and to your family. God bless you all, and thank you so much for watching, and share this with somebody you love. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Stephanie, don't leave yet.